this is now their standard preschool program that they use over there. And what they found at critical ages for children from 3 to 5 years of age to learn. Okay? Now, I know some people might think right away, well, is that too much pressure on the children? You know, have you ever heard some people say we're pushing them too young? Or is that too much pressure? Well, just like on the tape, you see, play is a child's way of emulating work. Okay, so what Wings has done is managed to take a program, a personal learning system, devise a unique program for each and every child, and has managed to make it fun, to make these games and make it fun for the children so that it's not like work. So the children are emulating adults, that's their play, is their way of work. So the Wings program is, again, a standard. It is a personalized learning system that gives you a snapshot or an assessment or profile of your child, and it finds out the developed areas and then the lesser developed areas. It finds out where each and every child's strengths are. I have to stop, man. We're not allowed any video recording. This camera's back there. Okay? Actually, no video recording or tape recording. We're not permitted to have that, so we need to turn any video cameras off. Sorry. Can you turn it off? Their educational system was 13 out of 16. Was 69% of the women are working now. In the 40s, like 26% were working now, but 69% of the women now are working in the workforce. And then the high divorce rate. That causes a lot of social, emotional impact with our children in the classroom. And yet we as parents send our children to the class and say, I don't know what to do. Here are yours, you take them and do it. And the teachers are doing the best they can. But we as parents need to make a difference back home with our children and do our part. So let's get the parental and family involvement. The parent works only twice a week, 30-minute session, twice a week with good quality learning time with your children, and then they can go and take what they've learned to their peers or to their siblings. So family involvement. Now the 4 types of information that Wings works with, shapes and objects, visual information, words and ideas, feelings, and reactions. The 5 basic thinking abilities are creative thinking, problem solving, comprehension, memory, and decision making. Now, most of the, let's take an example like we're going to go in and apply for a job or for a position. How many of you have had to take tests, IQ tests for jobs or entrance tests? Okay, well most of those tests that we take are like the standard phonetic test, and that mostly deals with memory or comprehension. And let's say you're not necessarily gifted in those areas. And do all job criteria not necessarily always need memory and comprehension? How about an airline controller? Does he need memory and comprehension, or do you think he needs to be really gifted in decision making? Okay? You see, I'm saying that we're going to deal, and Wings is going to deal in all of these areas. Okay, now the Wings program was designed by experts. It has over 25 years of research and development by some of the top child developers and psychologists in the country. They've really put a lot of effort into this program. It recognizes the uniqueness of each and every child. No 2 people are alike, just like we have no 2 thumbprints alike. No 2 people think alike, okay, or respond or react alike. So again, it's in Wings. We can find the child's strengths right away and use the strengths to help in the lesser developed areas. A systematic approach. The beauty of this program is it's not only systematic for the child, it is systematic for the parent. Again, I can remember when my kids were little, I had no idea how to teach them, and I thought, I don't want to ruin anything, so I just didn't hardly do much of anything with them, because I had no idea where to start. And Wings have a systematic approach, the turnkey system that the parent can sit down with the child and give the parents instruction, parental instruction right along with the children. Individual develops, again, lifetime learning skills that are set to become a habit by the time a child is 3 to 5 years of age. And a follow-up evaluation. And I touched lightly on this morning. The WINGS program has 2 evaluations or snapshots of assessments of your child. You've got one in the beginning and one in the end. And I've heard a couple of people talking over here, and I've talked to several parents that say they have gone to child developers and psychologists, and a personal profiler assessment was run approximately $1,000 to $1,500. Well, what if we can have that for each of our children, and we have 2 evaluations, plus we have the game that teach the child is fun, and then again you have a final involvement. You can't put a price tag on that. I know Don Kingsford was telling us they did a survey with women, and how many mothers do we have in here? I'm sure most of us have children, but the survey said 97% of women will do anything for their children. Though we've been a fast-paced society and women have had to work, I think there's been an amount of frustration that we wanted to do something for our children, but have not known what to do. And 97% of mothers, moms, though we're still working, we will do anything for our children. And again, WINGS provides us with a systematic turnkey approach. The WINGS program framework has an introductory kit, which you can view over here. Your parent support hotline, you can call WINGS or Intelligy. If you have any questions, the evaluation profile, and your program kits. All the samples are on the board over here. Again, Jane will be over here, and I know she's answered a lot of questions. Please feel free to go up and look at the WINGS program. Okay, this is the inside of the pack, the kit, which is displayed over there for Magic Death. And you can turn that over, and then you have a game called Windows. Each game, the first game that you will receive with WINGS is called Fishtails. Each and every game will come with a fishtail, and that is a beginning game. That is enough to keep a child pretty busy for about the first 4 weeks. There's enough games in there to keep them busy for 4 to 6 weeks to keep the children involved. It's a beginning game that every child will get. Just to give you an example of what that might be, you have several different colored fish in the games. You have some with red stripes, some with blue stripes, some with yellow stripes, some with stripes in a different order. And you might say, okay, let's categorize, let's put the fish in the pond with the red stripes over here. Okay, let's put the fish in with the blue stripes down in this pond, in this corner. That just gives you an example. There's several different games. Now, how about let's write a little story about the fish with the red stripes. And then that starts the children in the creative aspect. So there's several games within a game. And then they give you several different suggestions. This is your video. And I'm going to go over some steps that we have come up with in the Ohio area. NSA is coming out with the 10 steps to a sale. We have kind of made our own up. They've been very effective. And we're using this till one is presented corporate. But I think it's very much within the guidelines of our 10 steps with our 50C. It's very, very effective. And I'll go over that. And part of that is using the video. Okay, this is your orientation booklet. This is a part of the kit. Again, I encourage parents to sit down and go through everything. And the developing child chart. I'm going to go over some evaluations here, and after I'm done with the slides, just so you can see some of the research and development that has been put into the WINGS program. The developing child chart was real interesting. I know as a parent, the 3 main things they take a look for is when the baby starts to talk, when it starts to crawl, when it starts to walk. Those are about the 3 main things. You write down even in your booklets of child development. Baby's first tooth. Well, the child is developing every day. We just don't maybe recognize what those stages are. And I know Dr. Melnick had shared with us in one of the first courses, he said, when a child takes a Cheerio, just takes that Cheerio and puts it to its mouth, that child is distinguished from every other species. It is then saying it's becoming independent. It can feed itself. It can take care of itself. And another thing that I found that was fascinating, when a baby starts cooing and uttering and making all kinds of funny sounds, we think it's saying mama, daddy thinks it's saying dad, it's probably saying wah-wah. Well, it has all these different sounds. That baby at that time is equipped to speak any language in the world. And it is going through all the different sounds, from the deep guttural sounds to the rolling of the R's. And it's what we input into that child It's really nice the way it's laid out. You sit down, the parent sits facing the child on this evaluation, and there's a category for the parents, and then you can look at it this way, and then the child will look at it the way they're supposed to. And then you fill out the profile and the evaluation material, send it in an envelope, send it back to Intelligent, and within approximately 2 weeks, you will have the profile of assessment back to your child. Okay, now, on your evaluation profile, one major key that you want to remember is, everybody write down this number, 12458. It's not even my number. You want to write down your distributor number. That's a very, very key element. You want credit for that. You want the follow-ups for different wings kits. You want to make sure. So, I would encourage people to write down the number on all their kits before they even take it out. Sometimes we're excited about it and we can overlook that. So write down your distributor number on the page. Your evaluation profile will have an individualized letter for the child. I'm going to show you a sample of that personalized letter. A comprehensive evaluation report, which I am going to go through, and the topics discussed on that are going to be the physical aspect of the child, the social, emotional, how they may interact with others, language, and the cognitive, which is how we think. And you will see how Wing develops in all these different areas as I go through the evaluation. Again, this is just a sample. This is probably a quarter of the games that Wings had. We have over 132 games. And this is probably just a quarter of them. Okay, looks like he's having his heyday there. Okay, again, we at Wings, we believe, why don't you say this with me? This is our goal. We believe that making a difference in your child's life begins with a partnership we develop together. Our partnership with the Wings program will provide you with additional tools, knowledge, support to enhance your child's opportunity to reach their full potential. Okay, that's kind of our goal. That's kind of our heart what we at Wings feel. And I truly feel that this group here, 12 can make a difference across the world. What can we do? I know I was in the convention with over 10,000 people. We truly felt in our heart, yes, let's make a difference. I know that I grew up in the 70s, and it was everything, it feels good to do it, everything goes, and I think we're trying to establish again the good morals and backbone of our country within families and children and family involvement. And I truly feel from the bottom of my heart that we can make a difference if each and every one of us just starts with their own. That will make a tremendous impact on this country. Okay, the investment for year one is only $489. Now some people have said, is that game board worth $489? No, obviously it's not. It's a plastic game board. But you cannot put a price on what you will receive from the Wings program. Again, remember your 2 evaluations that you're going to obtain. If you go out in the private sector from a child developer or psychologist, it will cost you anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. Think of what you can save too, and just the how many people knew what they wanted to be when they grew up right away? And how many were very frustrated? A few of you. How many of you were very frustrated trying to figure out what you want to be when you grow up? How many of you are going to be 90 years old and say, what am I going to be when I grow up? Those are things that's just continuous change in life. Again, what if we can help that child to have the confidence when they go out there to try different things and know that they can make a difference. Okay, year 2, 360, year 3, 360, and then there's a $69 savings on the sibling. Okay, that's an overview of our Wings personal learning system and how we as a family and as people can make a difference. Again, I encourage each of you to go up afterwards and look through the kit, look at the different games and the boards, and let me go over some overviews now. Oh, I'll tell you what I'd like to do. I'm going to go over what we use, and we have the 9 steps right now. And again, this is something that we've been doing in the Ohio area. And NSA is coming out with some steps. I've heard that Disney is now working with us for our CEEPers. Imagine each and every child, they're very excited about that. They are currently working with us now for our CEEPers. Each and every child that tries one will be drawing to presentation folder together, set the stage, break the ice, and go on the board. Just like with our 50 introduce yourself, but you're going to want to get right involved. If you have the child with there, I highly suggest that you have the child interacting with the parents. So you're going to want to set the stage. Okay, tell the story. Tell the background, history. That's very, very impressive, folks. You know, what we are trying to do. Tell the background who brought wings to us. We have exclusive rights to market this product in North America. I've heard it said that it would take any other company 7 years to come up with anything remotely close to the Wings program. And if there's child educators or developers here, the ones that I have talked to are so excited to come out with a program that encourages parents to work with their children. Are there any educators in here right now? Look at them. Okay, let's give them a hand. A lot of them say it's been a long time overdue, so I think you can see the interest from them just in being here. They truly want to do their part also. Okay, so tell the story, the background, and the history of the Wings program. Explain how the program works. Go ahead and open your kit. You know, Wings put the kit together that you're in a Ziploc bag. You can take that right out and put it back in neatly and use that kit that you have. You're going to want to go and present a kit to them. You purchase your Wings kit and you demo it, and that would be the kit that you sell to them. They will have their first set of games to get them off and running, their fishtails, and when they go over the evaluation, that takes approximately 2 weeks to come back. So this is a one-time close, folks. We don't have to drop it off. You can show it right then and there, okay? And know where, you will know where the parent is at the time of the call. Okay, so show the program, go through the program, how it works, explain the need for the program. I think most parents know that there's a need, they just don't know what to do. So explain the need. We are working on a CPR Part 1. Basically, we've taken the one with the CPR that we have for water and just put in some questions for children on that. How many children you have in your home? How many of them are in the ages from 3 to 6? Do you currently have a personal learning system now? Okay. And then go ahead and do Part 2 if you have any questions. You can do Part 1 and Part 2 on that first call. Okay, show the video. I like showing the video on Step 6 because I don't know about you, but I've seen that video several times and I don't have a dry eye after watching it each time because it meets just such a special place in my heart. And I think most parents feel that their children, you can't put a price tag on it, and we do want to work with them every way we can. Summarize the options. We have different ways that somebody can purchase the Wings program. You can use Visa, MasterCard, go ahead and get the program, purchase the program outright, or we have a convenience plan program. You can put $135 down, approximately $40 a month. Now some people, I'm going to cover cost options with you right now. $40 a month. How many of you have cable TV in here? Raise your hand. Look around. What's cable TV run? How much? Okay, I'm here in 19, 20, 30, but we are at $40 a month. Okay, what are your children worth to you? How many of you go to McDonald's? Raise your hand. Come on, be honest. How many of you go to McDonald's fast food places? Okay, when you take a family of 4 on Friday night, how much does it cost you? $16 to $20 for a family of 4 to Mickey D's? Am I right? How many of you think your family's worth $40 a month to cut out one McDonald's meal a month or a week? Can you really put a price on it? Where are our priorities as a country? Just say, hey, $40 too much for you. Let's cut out Mickey D's on Friday night, stay home with the family, and do something for your family. Turn off the cable TV. It's become the American babysitter. And let's get that family involvement back in. What are your children worth to you? Okay, so cover some of the options with us. Review the close. It'll be step number 8, review and close. Okay, review what they have, the packet, close, and then ask for referrals would be step 9. Very, very simple program. I think if you are speaking from your heart, and if each and every one of you that have children or nieces and nephews get the program, you will understand the impact and the good that very, very key element. Okay, what I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to go over with you an example of an evaluation report. And there's a few things that I'm going to highlight on here just so you can get an overview of what's going to come back to the parents. I've had some educators come up to me after I'm going to show you the second session, and child developers and some of the classes I've taught and said, wow, they really realized what was put into wings, the research and development after I went over some of this, these overheads. So I hope you received out of them as much as I did. Okay, let's on this one. Front, that's back, right? There it is on. There it is. First have to be smarter than the machine, right? Okay. Is there any way to make it? Let's see. Oh, can I take that, or is that holding something? Yeah. We're going to wing it up here. Okay. This is a personal evaluation report for Jason. And it's a cover letter that basically tells the parents that they appreciate the opportunity to provide them with a personal snapshot of their child. And it will cover the different areas that they will deal with in the child. This is a sample of a letter that will go out to each and every child that gets their evaluation back. Now, this is development of Jason's language skills. And I'm going to just read a couple paragraphs that I've highlighted. There are two portions to Jason's language development, receptive and expressive. Receptive relates to the language he understands from conversations and other forms of communication. Expressive language pertains to the words and phrases he produces to tell others the way he thinks or feels. One way you can encourage his language skills is by talking with him and asking him questions which require more than a yes or no reply. You might even try reading him stories which allow him to make up his own endings, involving yourself in his language development and letting him know that you value his words may enhance his self-esteem as well. Here I think you can see that they're trying to get you involved with how the child feels in their language. I don't know how many other parents have experienced this, but how many of you have had kids come home and you said, how was your day? Okay. Well, what'd you do? Oh, nothing. Was it a good day? Yeah. Was it a bad day? No. Now, how can we get the child to talk to us? I mean, they're so on and off, yes or no. And I think, wait a minute, you've been gone for 8 hours a day. You've been in 7 different classrooms, and you mean you did nothing today? So how can we start the child young to start to communicate with us? And I think that this WINGS program will help start that process young. Now, Jason's social emotional development. Somebody was asking me earlier about the social emotional because they saw a lot of cognitive thinking and the creative skills for this. And it says in the bottom, Jason may be the kind of child who enjoys mastering interesting tasks and pleasing the important people in his life. Thus, he will especially enjoy working with you on the WINGS program. You will probably find that he will gain even more from these activities and games if you allow enough time for him to complete them to his own satisfaction. Okay, one of the things that we do as parents, when we start working with them on the WINGS program, we start to see results. And I know Dr. Melnett said with us, when the child starts getting excited and you see him start to do things, try not to overreact because you can even break the child's concentration. And we as parents on the one are really excited when you start to see on the development chart the different areas that they're growing in. And he kind of let us try to refrain from overreacting because the child can lose their concentration. Okay, now on Jason's thinking skills. Now, some people asked me last night, everything says they're good. Well, you're going to see that NSA WINGS comes from a positive approach, positive affirmation. Now, how many of us grew up in school? You get your reports back all the time, and you see better, good, better, fail, talks too much. I mean, you get this check marks on your report card, and you come home. Anybody trying to remember erasing talks too much? I remember that. Trying to erase talks too much, or doesn't listen in class, and you order from 1 to 3 with his best ability first, based upon his performance in each area on the evaluation. Again, remember that we are mostly interested in Jason's relative ability to use these different kinds of information. So words and ideas, semantic information is very good. Shapes and objects, good. Numbers, letters, and symbols, good. Okay, now the way this evaluation works, Jason's answers indicate that he works best with semantic and figural information. His performance on items involving the ability to work with symbolic information suggests that he will benefit most from challenging and fun experiences in this area. And then NSA Wings will send you games in those areas. Okay, how Wings will will individualize the program for Jason. Okay, again, Jason's performance on the evaluation indicates that his best thinking skills are memory, comprehension, and problem solving. The Wings program will provide games and activities which will utilize Jason's best skills to enhance his ability to work with symbolic. Beginning to understand how the Wings program works instead of a negative approach and taking everything on a positive approach. Okay. Jason also demonstrated that he works best with semantic and figural information. The Wings program will also provide games and activities that use these abilities to help Jason strengthen his creative thinking and decision-making skills, since these are the two areas that can benefit most from the experience. I'm going to go over a couple examples here. I got silver on there also. Okay, now here's just an example of using thinking skills to process shapes and objects. This is an example of playing with blocks. And so how does this game of playing with blocks meet the criteria in these areas? For comprehension, the understanding that there are different shapes in a set of blocks. Memory would be remembering all the different shapes in a set of blocks. Problem solving, determining how to construct the tallest tower using a set of blocks. Creative thinking, creating several different towers in the same set of blocks. Getting the child to think, creating different games. Decision making, deciding if the tower is the best structure to build. So you can see they work in all the 5 different areas with thinking skills, just with the shapes and objects. Okay, using thinking skills to process numbers, letters, and symbols. Comprehension, understanding the number 5 can represent 5 apples. Memory, remembering that the number 5 follows the number 4. Problem solving, determining that if you ate 2 of your 5 apples, there would be 3 left. Creative thinking, thinking of different ways to represent the number 5, such as 5 dots on a domino. Decision making, looking at a sequence of numbers 1, 3, blank, and 7, and deciding that the number 5 is missing. Now, this one is words and ideas. Comprehension, understanding the meaning of the word truck. Memory of semantic information, remembering the meaning of the truck when you hear it in a story. Problem solving, determining which type of truck is the best one to take to a fire. So you may see a picture of an ambulance, a fire truck, a dump truck, pickup truck, and then ask the child, if there's a fire, of all these 5 different trucks here, which one would you take to a fire? Okay? So this is working with problem solving, making up a story about a special truck. And then you're going to get into creative thinking. You might say to the child, okay, of all these trucks, let's pick this blue dump truck out, and why don't you write your story? And the child may not be able to write, but will start talking to you, and then you can write out the story and be surprised. Excuse me, I've had several mothers say how they see little journalists arising, or people, how creative their children were, and they didn't realize how creative they were. Okay, decision making, deciding on the best word to describe a truck in a story. Okay, I just about out of time. I want to go over a few other things here real quickly. How much time do I have left? About a few minutes? Are you starting to understand the Wings program a little better? Okay, what like there's dots here, there's a straight trail, and then there's the crooked house. Well, how do we think about that? How many different things are there on that map? Well, in comprehension, the memory of letters, numbers, and symbols, remembering the number of sheep Little Bo Peep has. Comprehension, under comprehension and symbolic is understanding that the dotted lines can be used to represent a trail. And then under memory is remembering the number of sheep Little Bo Peep has. It's under memory. Now under figural, under comprehension, is noticing that the man with the crooked cane lives in a crooked house. Under memory, looking for the lady who lives in a shoe by remembering the shape of her house. Semantic, understanding what a fork in the road is. And memory, remembering not to go near the gingerbread house because a mean person lives there. Okay. Now, children and families, and this is just some key concepts. Parents have the earliest, most crucial, and longest lasting impact in helping children reach their fullest potential. So many of us make the mistake that we say, let's send them off from kindergarten and the teacher's going to set the way they think and develop the rest of their lives. But we as parents have that responsibility, and the impact really starts with us. The children are partners with parents in their interactive growing process, influencing each other's growth and development. Another thing that you'll see in the WINKS program is once the parent takes the time with the child two times a week, the child can then interact with their peers or their siblings. They don't have to have you around. After you take that time a couple times a week to show them the game, they then will get those games out themselves and take the time to interact. Okay, parents like children need affirmation. I mean, how many of us need affirmation? Let's be honest. We all do. We were created to need approval, love, and acceptance. And children aren't any different. So let's start that affirmation. Let them know that they're doing well. Interactive learning is not always smooth sailing. Parents want to do their job well and welcome, support, systematic information on a day-to-day aspect of teaching and nurturing their children. I'll tell you one thing, after we saw this WINKS program, we as parents were sitting in the room and they presented it to us, and we were saying, forget the children, can we take it? We really could see some areas that could benefit us, and we were really excited about it. The adults were saying, do you have a program for people in their 20s and 30s and 40s? I said, hold on. Let's see. Okay, now, I thought this was real interesting on the 5 senses. Do we have any kindergarten teachers in here? Any kindergarten? Okay, or nursery school, preschool? We learn with all of our senses. We use all our senses. See, smell, taste, touch, and hear. And one of the things I thought was really cute when Dr. Malmet was explaining the program, he said, you go into kindergarten and you'll see a child starting to learn or to count. And they might have their fingers up. So they're using their visual, but then sometimes you're going to see that they're going to go, have you ever seen a kid count go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? You ever seen that? They're using all their senses. They're seeing, they're touching, they're feeling, okay? And they're getting used to learning by using all their senses. And I thought that was kind of interesting how we use all our senses to learn. Okay, now the cognitive development. I thought this was real interesting. And I know a lot of parents, again, have thought we're pushing our children too young. And again, WINKS is meant to take away the advisor program to make learning fun. This is the area of the brain, cognitive development. At birth, the brain is 1 pound at birth. It's 2 pounds by age 1. And it's 3 pounds by age 17. Look at the difference in growth there. When is the most growth of the child, of the brain? By 3 years of age, a child's neurolinguistic connections are complete. By 3 years of age. So, do you think, again, that 3 to 5 years would be a real critical age to teach a child in a fun, systematic type of way? You betcha. I really think we have something here, folks. I believe that's why some of the other countries are ahead. They saw the need to start young with their children. Okay, this is just a real quick chart. The reason I want to show you this is just to show you a little bit of some of the research and development that's gone behind the WINKS program. cognitive development. Pre-birth, stage 1 and 0-3, building rapport. No ability to impose intent upon objects at random by chance. Stage 2, comparing known to unknown. That's the ability to put two things together on a basis single property. Okay, stage 4, simultaneous ideas, the ability to coordinate two or more properties or concepts at a time. Stage 6, I'm going to skip over some of these, combinational reasoning. Stage 7, flexible thinking, that's the ability to reason through relationships among progressively subordinate ideas. That's 18 and up. It's interesting. We don't just walk, talk, and walk, like so many of us are used to looking at those areas. Okay, now the social emotional development. Children's sense of social and emotional well-being can be fostered through play. Again, I'm trying to get you to see that this isn't pushing children too young. It's just how we take them through the course of the game. Fostering positive self-esteem helps children make a successful transition from independence to independence and self-reliance. Parents need to join their children. We need, as parents, to take that and take our responsibilities to developing our child by turning their children's interests and feelings as well as following their children's needs. So that's a basic overview of our WINGS program. I hope I shared with you. I hope you got the idea a little bit more about what WINGS is about and what we are trying to do and try to establish as families making a difference. And I truly believe it starts with each and every one of us, and it can even start right here in this room. So I want to thank you. I thank you for the opportunity to share the WINGS program with you, and let's see if we can all make a difference. Thanks.
Thank you, Teresa. Teresa just said, for those of you that have been asking for business cards, should be over on the side for a second. I can identify with what she was saying about taking this program. I mentioned to Pamela that I'd like to go back to 3 years of age so I could take it, and she looked at me and said, what do you mean go back? Anyway, why don't you stand up real quick, stand up, stretch your legs, because we're going to move right along here. Dip down once and up. All right.